My vengeance ends now.
Well, hello there. I know that recently I'm only reviewing kind of older games, but for some reason it felt so good to replay some of these titles, and it would just be a waste if I hadn't make a review of them. And considering they're kind of old, maybe some of the younger crowds hadn't played them yet. So if you haven't played God of War 3 yet, or even if you have, you might enjoy this one. So before Kratos retired and started bothering Odin, he was actually bothering Zeus and all the other gods that you probably know. Long story short, this is the third game of the trilogy that is mostly about getting revenge on the gods for tricking you to kill your family. In the first game you kill Ares, that is why it's called God of War, but then in the second and the third game you realize that all the gods suck, so you say fuck it and go kill him. But no matter how cool Kratos is, he cannot do it alone, so in the second game he says, okay, I'll go back in the past and grab me some Titan ass. I will not spoil too much in case you actually want to play those games, and I think that you should because they are flippin' awesome. So you say to the Titans, hey, let's go smack the shit out of Zeus, you guys in? They say, okay, sure, why not? You take them to Olympus, and that is where God of War 3 starts. You got an army of Titans, Zeus got an army of pretty much everything, so this game is like the end game of Greek mythology. If you only played the newer God of War games, then you should really check out at least one of these older games, because while the newer games have that kind of chill vibe, I mean, if you've not played the original games, then you don't think that they have chill vibe, but believe me, compared to these games, the newer ones are like summertime on the countryside. But the older ones are just fucking pure mayhem, murdering everything around you for 15 minutes, then a minute to take a deep breath, sometimes there will be a chick to bang or something, and then again 15 minutes spamming that square button until your wrist is as cramped up as the time you found your dad's Playboys. It is an absolutely stunning gore fest that is just filled with action, insane combos and gruesome finishers. Speaking of the combat, holy shitaroni. The choreography is even to this day still so freaking cool to watch, and when that glowy circle pops up you know that you are about to have your face blown away. And the combat is not too complicated to get the hang of. Like I said, all you have to do is spam the square button and every once in a while throw a triangle in there. Plus, if you're feeling whimsy, you can roll away, and that is pretty much it. Oh, and you can use superpowers, or god powers, both sounds kinda goofy. But with these action-adventure hack and slashes, the combat is pretty much everything I need, and that is so well done. Of course, God of War game wouldn't be a God of War game without the Blades of Chaos. I mean, technically I think they're called Blades of Exile in this game, but they work about the same way, plus they look the same and they're probably one of the most iconic video game weapons of all time. But they are not all that you can use. Every time you kill like a big man boss, you get some new piece of gear or a new weapon, so it kind of spices up the combat so you don't have to use just the Blades of Chaos for the whole game. Of course, I would be happy even with just the blades, cause look at my boy Kratos, how happy he looks. And then when the big boy boss shows up and when you just absolutely clap his butt cheeks, you feel so at peace. And the design of the gods and pretty much all of the enemies is just out of this world. I would even say that the older games have better character designs than the newer games. Not saying that the newer ones are bad, they are amazing, but the old ones just hit different, you know? But also the enemies and everything, even for such an old game, they're just filled with little details or different weaknesses, just so beautifully thought out. Now that it comes to the world, it's just freaking mwah, chef kiss. The newer games are like semi-open worlds where you can go exploring or maybe go help some random ghosts, but the older games don't have that. They are much more level based, and if you miss some chest, you can't exactly come and get it later. But despite that, every once in a while you can take a look around the area in which you're currently, and you can just see the gigantic amount of detail and Greek lore that they put into every single level of the game. Like in the new games, you will also be faced with a puzzle every now and then, and I would be lying if I said that I enjoyed them. They're kind of annoying, like every single puzzle in every single game of all time. But it shows that even with big muscles you have to train your mind, and while Kratos is a fearsome warrior and a menace in the sack, he is also a renowned scholar. He thinks of something, and even if it's physically and scientifically impossible, he somehow does it. Smart man. So I think it goes without saying that I absolutely love the God of War franchise, and this is my favorite game of them all. It's actually one of the first games that I have ever finished, and it will always have such a special place in my heart. If I would have to pick between the newer God of War games and the OG ones, I would just have to pick the old ones. I absolutely love the Nordic setting and all the characters and everything about it, but the older games are just, you know, so special to me. I played all of them, I loved all of them, and I think that God of War has to be one of the only franchises where every single thing that comes out of that Santa Monica factory is just peak and amazing. I know that recently I've been giving a lot of 10 out of 10s to older games, but considering they are still like amazing games and one of the best games of all times, I mean, deal with it, I guess. I enjoyed every single second of this game, even though I was replaying it for the 4th time, and I will definitely replay it again in a year, cause it's like I said many times, just amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video till the end. If you want me to review some game that I still hadn't, write something in the comments, and you know what you gotta do with the like and the subscribe button. Thanks again, and see you next time.